What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Rolling Over 40. My guest today is the brown belt, Martin Delgado. Martin is 41 years old and he trains at my gym with me. And in this episode, we discuss a lot about Martin's journey, which started 20 years ago and bounced around from different gyms and included him in a handful of his white belt buddies at the time, just going to a gym that had some mat space and trying different moves and seeing what they could do. And now he is a brown belt who has competed about 10 times and has won several of his competitions. And he talks about that as well, and a lot of the mental side of jujitsu and all that and more in this episode. So please enjoy this episode with Martin Delgado. Okay, what's up, Martin? So what were you just saying? We were just chatting right before we started the recording. You trained this morning, and today, for our listeners who don't know, we're recording this on a Sunday. So initially when you said that, I'm like, hold on, is there a Sunday class at our gym that has been kept secret from us white belts or something?
No, sometimes we have friends that like we get together, someone's garage, they call us over and see whoever can make it. Um, it's nothing formal.
Right. So like how many of you were there today?
I would say like three, four, five. Five of us.
Okay. So if you include that, how many days a week are you training?
If I include that, 4 to 5.
4 to 5. And has that been the case since you were a white belt?
No, no,
No. And all
no.
right, so hold on. And you are 42?
One.
41. And so all right, so why don't you, let's see. All right, then let's back up a bit. What I guess first of all, who is, you know how when you see people, I don't know if it's still the case for you, but like for me, because I'm so new, when I see people out of the gym who I normally see in the gym, it's hard to recognize them not wearing a gi.
Right.
You know, it's like, oh, that's what you look like in
Yeah.
normal clothes. So who is Martin when he's not wearing a gi? Are you from SoCal originally? You know, what do you do for a living?
Yeah.
Yeah, what are some things that people who train with you regularly don't know about you?
Well, I'm from Santa Ana, born
Okay.
and raised in Santa Ana. So locally here, and for work, I do construction management. It's for like the utility companies, right? For fiber, power, gas, construction management for that. We'll take it from what it could be from like the planning stage all the way to the full construction and finishing up the street repairs. So that's kind of what I do. It's fun. It keeps me outdoors. I'm not in an office all the time.
So you said construction, but then you said street repairs. Is it like building construction, or is it mostly
No,
like
more like like the new fiber like in our town here, Orange County, you kind of seen like city side fiber is getting installed kind of all over.
is that like hold on, like we're talking like
Fiber optics?
fiber optic cable,
Yes.
like
Yeah.
internet stuff?
So it's that kind of construction for that.
Okay.
Telephone facilities, power.
So is that when
I,
you said construction for that, so those are the things that are needed for that, like telephone facilities and power
yes.
grids and things like that?
Yes.
Ah, so you're in charge of like building those things.
Yeah. Like managing projects. So like I might have a project like, yeah, I gotta build a section from Red Hill to Newport on First Street, right? So just the management of construction through that. So
And so when you say build, you mean like lay cable underground
yes,
from there to there.
correct.
Yeah, I'm always fascinated to know that how is that even freaking done? It's like because you need to. All right. I have a quick question about that. If you're gonna lay, what did you just say? You're gonna lay cable underground from, for example, that was an example. What,
Right.
Red Hill uh,
Newport.
to Newport. Hold on. Okay, so that's like for our listeners who, because we have many international listeners and many listeners outside of what's so funny,
No, no, big deal.
who don't know, who aren't familiar with our geography out here. So Red Hill to Newport, what's that like? Half a mile or something? Like
Yeah.
okay, so a half a mile of cable. Does that mean you have to? Does there have to be a hole? Like you have to dig a hole that long, or just on both ends, and somehow you connect the ends?
Yeah, most of the time it's on both ends. And then
All
along
right.
the way, anything that's in the way, we just expose it so we don't damage it.
So how does? All right. So dumb question here. How does how do you get, all right. If it's just a hole on both ends, how does the cable go from one end to the other? How, like, you
It's
don't have a person under there, like bringing
no,
it,
no,
carry.
no. It's a machine. It's called a directional drill. So you just
Okay.
start at one end and it goes in the ground. It has like a, it's called a beacon at the
Okay.
tip of that. It's like a metal rod,
Yeah.
and you guide it. So you have like a, we call it a locator, and
Mm-hmm.
it can read the depth
Okay.
and where it's at. So you just guide it with it. So as it's going
You
on the
you
ground,
got it like a little
yeah,
like a video game,
kind
like
of, yeah. A person is
okay,
walking through it, guiding it, and then there's
okay,
somebody else on the machine pushing the buttons that the guy tells him to. Like, hey, push
okay,
10 feet at 36 inches deep, and they just keep going.
okay. And somehow you have to make sure you don't hit gas lines and water
Correct.
lines. That sounds kind of. How often do you hit one of those lines?
Ooh, man. We've hit a few. Sometimes they're not identified, so we don't even know it's there.
Oh, so what happens when you hit, I don't know, a water line?
That's happened before. I mean, it
So
makes
there's
a
a
big mess. It
right.
makes a big mess. We got to call the city. They shut off the water. People are mad at
Okay.
us. And
And so you're the manager, so that means everything's your fault when it happens, right?
yes, correct. That's why I need jujitsu, right? To come and relieve the stress.
Yeah, yeah. So speaking of jujitsu, all right, when did your journey begin? You're 41, you're a brown belt. When did it all start and why? Like what had you been interested for a long time, or was it just like one day you're like, oh, what's this jujitsu thing? Let me go try it.
I think, well, it started back in 2003, actually. So that was when
Oh,
my interest started.
22 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I ended up just watching, I think it was like the Ultimate Fighter fights that didn't
Yeah.
require pay-per-views because I didn't have the money for pay-per-views.
Right,
So when they
right.
came on TV regular, like that's when I got interested. Um, but as a kid, I wanted to do karate, never got a chance.
Okay.
I did more soccer. That's maybe
Okay.
one thing that people don't know about me. I played soccer forever, like a long time. Um, but
Like in high
after that,
school and everything.
yeah, like from elementary all the way to college.
And what
Uh,
college did you go to?
I didn't play for college, like just up to
Oh,
college.
oh. But when you said you played through college, so you weren't playing on a college team, but you were
No, no,
playing
no.
like intramural and all that.
Yeah, leagues
Okay.
or just local
Leagues
leagues.
and
Uh,
whatnot. Okay. And do you still play soccer?
no, no, I played, I think I stopped in 2002, and that's
Okay.
what kind of got me the interest because I wasn't doing anything. So in
Oh, I
2003,
see.
yeah,
Okay.
2003, I had a decent job, no major bills, and as a kid,
Okay.
I wanted to do, like I said, karate, but we couldn't afford it, so
Okay.
I didn't do anything other than play soccer. But now that I was an adult, had some money, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna sign up for something. Um, I didn't really consider karate anymore, just
Okay.
because of all the people how it's perceived sometimes, like maybe people assume like, oh, people buy belts or you just, I know kids that are like 12 years old are black belts, right? Um,
Right. Yeah.
so that's why it didn't really interest me. So jujitsu was one thing that watching the fights kind of got my attention.
Sure.
Um, and then I one day I just looked up local jujitsu gyms, found one in Orange called
Okay.
it was a Carlson Gracie Franco de Camargo,
Okay. Is this,
um,
so what year was this ish?
2003.
Oh, it was '03. Okay.
Yeah, 2003. So I started there. Um, I didn't know anything about jujitsu, nothing.
Okay.
To the point where like the day that I went in, I didn't even know there was a trial class. I thought you just signed up. So I just signed up, and then I
Okay.
asked the professor, what's a GI? I didn't know what a GI was.
The gi.
The gi. So he just looked at me, laughed, and he's like, it's a uniform. We'll get you one, and you'll get to start here with us.
But wait, you didn't hold on. You signed up. You were ready to start
Yeah,
then. You didn't really know what jujitsu was. You didn't know the word gi. I mean, and you just said, I'm ready. Like what do you remember why you were so ready at the time? Like, because that's pretty you were pretty confident you were in.
yeah. I don't know why, and that's me though. That's I
Okay.
do that a lot, even with competitions when we can get into a little later. But
Yeah.
I just sign up. I just do it. Like let's see what happens, right?
Okay.
I don't really do the research sometimes, and I just go with it.
Okay. So, Wow, that's pretty that's interesting because I mean most people I talk to, most people are very familiar with jujitsu when they get started. But I mean, '03, this is before there was a a jujitsu gym on every corner.
Right.
So and okay, so and you didn't know what a gi was. All right, so do you remember your first class? Do you remember your first, few experiences there at that gym?
Yeah, it was very like introductory.
Okay.
Basic, let's say basic takedowns, basic sweeps, some arm bars. Um, what was it? Yeah, just a lot of basic. And honestly, I wasn't there that long. I think I was there
Okay.
maybe, I signed up for the year. It was a year contract, but I think I only
Okay.
trained maybe like 3, 4 months.
Mm-hmm.
And then life happens, right? Like stuff
Sure.
happens. Got married, just
Okay.
life. And then
Yeah.
I stopped for a long time at an actual gym. From there, I went on and trained with a couple buddies that I
Oh, wait, you
found.
said you stopped for a long time?
Yeah,
Like,
I stopped
so
maybe 2 years. For
two
2 years.
years. But did you, those few months you were doing it there, did you like it? Did you
Oh
enjoy it? Were
yeah,
you hooked?
oh
Okay.
yeah, I was.
Okay.
It's just life, work,
Mm-hmm.
everything that kind of just puts a hold.
Sure.
And then as you kind of stop, you start feeling like you're falling behind. Other friends are moving along. So then
Yeah.
it's just that I don't know. I don't know if everyone goes through it, but at least I did, where you start feeling like, hey, I'm getting surpassed. I'm getting behind. Maybe I'll just take a break. Maybe I start somewhere else.
Definitely. I
So,
mean, that's honestly, that was one of the things I wanted to ask you. And that's one thing I'm curious about with all of you higher belts, you purple belt, brown belt, black belts. It's like, does everybody go through this where it's like, if I miss a week, I'm like, dang it, everybody's getting better than me. But you missed 2 years.
yeah,
And, so many people in my cohort, you get injured and you're out for 6 months or
right,
something like that. And I've had my share of relatively minor injuries. My worst one was a rib and I was out for 2 months. But I mean, when I came back after that 2 months, it was very noticeable that people had improved
right,
where I hadn't, and that was it's so hard not to get discouraged. And I
right.
think that's kind of what you're talking about, right? So I can tell you I definitely go through that. So so in that case, was it hard for you after that 2 year break? Was it hard for you to get back into it, like because of that, or
It
or were
it
you
was
just
hard
in?
to get back into it in a gym, like an actual gym,
Okay.
where actual professors, actual curriculum, all that. It was
Yeah.
hard. I ended up finding some friends that we just like to kind of drill and
Oh,
train a little bit. There
okay.
was this place in Costa Mesa before. It was a big gym. They had a multiple, they had like a boxing ring, just mat space, different
Mm,
areas, punching bags.
okay.
And this gym charges us $5 to use the mats.
Oh, yeah.
So we would just
That's a
go there.
no-brainer.
Yeah. And then it was funny because it was just some buddies that none of us had training. None of us were not even blue belts.
Okay.
But they would see something on YouTube and then the next day, hey, this is what we're practicing. So
See, that's what I was going to ask. So you guys were all pretty much white belts, and
yes,
you were just trying to learn together on these mats, just the handful of you.
yes.
Wow.
And
I
this was
wonder
no
what
gi
that was
also.
like. Nogi.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. None of us
Okay.
were
I guess
blue.
that makes sense, the nogi thing. But okay. And how long were you doing that?
Man, I did that for like 2 years.
Two
But it wasn't a
years.
consistent. It was
Okay.
when you
Sure.
can. It wasn't a class, so when you can
Yeah.
go. But it was
So
about
it's
two
just like,
years.
hey,
Yeah,
can you go tomorrow? All right, me
yeah,
too. Let's go. And it was just, hey, I saw this. Let's try this move or something like
right,
that.
right. But
Wow.
it wasn't
Okay.
like a simple basic move, right? It was just
Okay.
these guys wanted to try. Like, hey, I saw this cool flying armbar. Want to try it? I'm like, I don't even know how to land or anything. Luckily, I never got hurt there, so it
Okay.
was good.
I feel like, you're the way you guys did that. That's kind of how you guys were developing. You guys were like reinventing the wheel. It's like you were developing jujitsu from the start, like the way it was developed in the first place. Kind of, hey, let's see if this works.
Right.
As a bunch of white belts. So how do you? I mean, do you feel like you really made some good progress in your jujitsu in those years?
Hmm. No, not really. I mean,
Okay.
other than like losing maybe some some fear, or maybe like not
Okay.
being as nervous to
Okay.
try. Maybe
Yeah.
that. But other
Okay.
than skills, no. I didn't really learn anything.
Okay. Oh, interesting. I mean, would you guys do things like, okay, here, get me inside control and let me just see if you can hold me there, and I'm just going to try to break out?
No. It was always
No.
moves, always offensive moves, right? Like, oh, I saw this cool armbar. I saw this cool guillotine, like something, right? We never
Oh,
tried.
so
How
no
do we get at it?
fundamentals.
No. Nothing. It was, that's what I'm saying. Like sometimes it was like, I'm a little sore, not injured, but I'm sore, so I'll
Yeah.
skip a week. And then
Okay.
whenever I go back, I go back.
Oh man, that is so
It
funny.
was
I
fun
mean,
though.
I'm sure. I'm sure. That's awesome, man. And you
Yeah.
did that for a couple of years, you said?
Yeah. Yeah.
What? Okay, I'm just trying to picture that. I mean, like honestly, because for me, I guess because I've got, I've been training for about a year and a half now at our
Mhm.
gym, and it's like, the fundamentals are so important. So I was just having dinner with me and a bunch of other white belts the other night, except Human, the only blue belt,
Mhm.
and Human just got some mats, I think, and we were talking about, he's like, hey, we need to start getting together, like a group of us, like what you guys did,
Yeah.
and just start practicing and whatnot. But I mean, for me, it's like the practicing we would do would probably be get me here, let's get inside control and let's just see if you can hold me there and I'll try to get out. I don't know. We'll probably advance to flying R bars
No,
pretty quickly,
no,
but
but that is the proper way to do it, though. That's the proper way to do it. Like we just did it because it was back in like what 2005-ish.
okay. Yeah.
Like you said, there wasn't that many jiu-jitsu gyms. There wasn't that much talk about like how to progress. It was just
Right,
people saw it
right.
on TV and thought it was cool and like let's go do the cool stuff. Not
Yeah. Yeah,
not
why not?
no one's thinking about like how do I get out of this? Everybody's
Right.
thinking I'm gonna put you in this versus
Right.
you know.
Right, right. Yeah, so when did all right, so then that was that couple years. Then what was next? What was next in your journey?
After that, I ended up signing up for a gym with not Koi wasn't there at that time, but it was at
Oh,
Nanfam. I think he was also
he
there,
mentioned that. Yeah, he
and
did.
and
I think
Hugh
he
was
did
also
mention
there. So
Hugh and Coy.
yeah,
Okay, so you
so
knew. So sorry, you knew Hugh. You met Hugh then, way back then.
no, I just knew that he went there, but I think he
Oh,
was like
okay,
a morning guy, and I was an
okay,
afternoon guy.
okay, right.
Yeah,
And
but
so
I
that was what year?
for me, I think it was like 2008, 9, maybe
Okay,
something like that.
okay. And what was that? What was your experience at that gym like?
Same thing. It was okay. It was at least there was instruction, but
Okay,
there weren't that many
yeah,
people. Yeah,
okay,
there
yeah.
weren't that many people, and I'm not a big guy, so a lot of the
Mm-hmm.
people that were there are big, and
Ah,
this
sure.
was
So
a
for
no
our
gi.
listeners who don't know you, many know you, but for our listeners who don't know you, what's your height and weight walking around at?
I don't know, height probably like what 5'5", something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Weight when I'm heavy, I'm like 140 something.
Okay.
Lately, I'm like 133 ish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And yeah, but I mean, you're a small guy, but I mean, would you say, and this is something we can get into more possibly later, but I mean, this is, the power of jujitsu. I mean, you can like if a white belt, if a 226-2 white belt comes in, and you guys roll, I mean, you can still handle him, right?
Maybe, yeah. Because
Maybe.
nowadays the new white belts too, like they come with backgrounds, right? Like
Oh, like
some do
wrestling and all
judo, some do
that.
yeah,
Ah, sure,
wrestling.
sure.
So some of them now know how to come in and not go too crazy, right? Like they can
Right.
if they can
Not too
pace it,
spazzy.
yeah. So sometimes
Yeah.
it's getting a little tougher, but I
Okay.
mean I can probably survive.
But with no training at all. So dude who's like big
Yeah,
big dude, no training in wrestling or jujitsu, anything like that at all, and you guys roll. I mean, he's probably not going to have much of a chance, right?
right.
Right.
Most likely. I
Yeah.
mean I can get out of stuff.
So he's not going to get you, basically.
Right.
Right.
But I
Got it.
mean, I'm to the point now where like I maybe not that smart, but I'll roll with anybody. So it doesn't matter
Okay.
the size. So I think that helps me too.
Right. Yeah, yeah. No, that's awesome. I mean, hey, you and I rolled, I think that was our first roll. I don't know. It's possible I rolled with you like a year ago when I was, but
Possibly.
I don't know if I would remember per se, but yeah, because I started like a year and a half ago. I was going to Saturdays quite a bit at the beginning, the
Yes.
first few months, but then I haven't gone in a while until last week. But yeah, it was a pleasure to roll with you, and you actually taught me the one the I try to remember something from I'd like to say every roll, but
Mhm.
probably every day I try to remember one thing. And it was when you said that I don't have to, if I'm trying to break open your guard, if I'm in your guard, and I don't know if you remember this, but you told me, you're like, oh yeah, you don't have to pin my knee all the way to the floor before I get my leg kind of up,
Oh,
but I normally, up until that moment when you said that, every time I was in somebody's guard, it's like, okay, I have to like drill their knee all the way to the floor and pin it there before I can even move my legs. So that was something I've only trained 1 day since then. So I'm still thinking about, that's still in my mind about,
mhm.
that little tip you gave me. But how many years were you training there at the what was it called? Non-fan?
Nanfam?
Nan-fan?
Yeah, same thing. It was like that first one. Like I signed up for the year. I didn't make it the full year, maybe like
Okay.
9 months.
Okay.
Just because after a while there wasn't that many people going. And then the people that would go are big, right? Big
Okay.
wrestling guys. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
wasn't really getting much out of it. The moves that we
Oh,
were
that's kind of a
practicing,
bummer.
yeah, the moves that we were practicing, I'm like, these are like big boy moves, Like I'm not
Like
gonna.
what? Like what were the big boy moves?
Um, man, I think they taught us one time. Like a lot, I feel like a lot of it were like kind of like, let's say a triangle, right? Even that
Okay.
a triangle. Like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get a good drilling of the triangle with this big dude, right? Like I'm not gonna get
So
my legs
sorry,
all the way around.
dumb white belt over here. So what? Why not? And is that like in general? Should I know? Because I'm not a big guy either.
No,
Is
it's
that should I
it's
like?
just like legs, right? I got short legs.
Okay.
If I rotate a certain way, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna be able to get and clap down on like a 200 something 6'2" guy,
Oh,
right?
because you
It's
won't be able to get your legs,
yeah.
like your feet locked in to be able to. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Got it.
and a lot of the partners, and I mean, I'm a white belt at that point, and the partners I had, I'm like, I'm not learning much out of this. I'm not
Okay.
getting
Okay.
like the moves that we're doing here don't really apply to me, or
Wow.
and I do feel like early on for me, because I'm a smaller dude, the the jujitsu that where I would go was kind of more catered to like the bigger athletes, the people that had experience.
Okay.
So in the beginning, I honestly I felt like, oh, I'm just some guy that's paying a membership. Just get in there, get in the mix, and do what you can. But everyone else that had like a background in something had that
Okay.
focus of like, hey,
Okay.
let's get this person better. And I don't know why that was before. Maybe trying to build up certain people for like a
Sure.
big team
Sure.
type thing. But that's how I felt in the beginning. So that was a little discouraging. I think that played a role in me like not lasting at the gyms that I would go to.
Yeah, I'm just, it's really what's striking me right now is how, and I already know that, like me and the people that, pretty much anybody that goes to our gym or anybody who's trying jujitsu right now, how lucky we are that there's the types of gyms that are out there right now.
Right.
Like our gym is, like the way you're describing your gym, it's like that is night and day different from
Exactly.
our gym. Like ours is so unbelievably welcoming to everyone,
Right.
of all backgrounds, in terms of martial arts and of all sizes.
Yeah.
I mean,
Experience levels.
and I
Yeah.
feel like jujitsu is kind of like, I thought jujitsu is kind of designed for, not designed for, but I mean, it's supposed to definitely welcome the smaller stature people. So yeah, again, it's just striking me that it's like I mean, it's like, I know we're lucky, but it's like hearing this, it's like, man, if I had tried to start training back then as well, I would have run into probably the same kind of challenges that you ran into.
Yeah.
So that was then, this is now, but
Right.
so what was, all right, this is a great journey, man. This is,
Yeah.
you've gone to so many different places. And, so what, so after that, I'm impressed that you weren't just like, after that experience, like, all right, I'm done with this. I don't want to go back to this, but you kept going. So what was next?
Yeah. No, I've always loved training jujitsu. It was always fun. It was just I gotta
Okay.
find the right place.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I did end up finding a good spot. Before One Jiu Jitsu, it was Rounders MMA.
Yeah. That's a kind of a
In
chain, right?
Santa. Yes. Yeah, I think they
Or,
have 2 or 3 locations.
okay.
Um,
Rounders. But is that jujitsu? Is that more?
They have a lot of everything. I think they have
Okay.
boxing,
Okay.
MMA, jiu-jitsu, but a few of the guys from there actually train here or know Jiva, Mo, and all of them. And then
Okay.
there's a couple guys that train with us and workout rounders. So
Okay.
somehow they're connected. But that's where I met Mo. I
Oh,
signed up.
really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I signed up for jujitsu there. Mostly because it was close to work too. So right
Okay.
after work, I head over there. So I
Yeah.
signed up there. That's where I met Mo, and he
And
was
Mo was
teaching.
he was teaching there.
Yeah, he was teaching the no gi class.
Okay.
Um, and I went there, and this time I same thing. I signed up for the year. The reason I didn't last the year there was because my daughter was born, so I had to take some
Hey,
time.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Well, that's gonna
yeah,
that's
I
gonna
know.
change. Is it and your daughter was your
She's my
first child?
second
Your
second
second.
child.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
And
now,
how old are your kids now?
13 and 11.
Okay. So you're just ahead of me. My son's 11, but he'll be 12 in a few days, and my daughter's 10. So,
Okay.
yeah, we're around the same
Yeah.
place. So that means they're in what, fifth grade and seventh grade?
Yes.
Okay, got it. Nice. So your daughter was born, and Rounders. Were you training at Rounders just jujitsu, or were
Just
you doing?
jujitsu.
Okay,
No, just
so
jujitsu. That's all I kind of was interested in. And then who
okay,
knows? Maybe later on, if I stuck there, maybe I would have tried other stuff. But I mean, I'm also older. I got kids. I'm not
right.
gonna fight, right? Just
Right.
want to
I
go for a
know.
workout.
I feel the same way. So wait, let me do some math here. Your daughter's, wait, which one is 11 or which one's
My
13?
daughter's 11.
She's 11. So 11 years ago is 2014, right? And that's when you were at Rounders. This is 2014. This is
Yeah,
still,
around there. Yeah.
oh, we still got a long way to go in your journey,
Yeah.
Martin. So, okay. So did you go back to Rounders after your daughter was
No,
born?
no. After that, I took a
No.
walk. I
Okay.
took another break.
Hmm.
So, just and actually at this time I didn't do anything. I didn't even go to
Okay.
that one gym in Costa Mesa because they didn't do that anymore. I think they closed down
The
for
Nan
the
Fan?
the $5 mat
Oh, the five
usage.
dollar.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So they weren't there anymore. And then all the people I trained with, they were kind of busy too. So I didn't
Okay.
really do anything.
Okay.
Um, I was just kind of busy with work and the kids, just
Okay.
trying to see what else I could do.
Okay. Okay. Now,
But
had you for that period of time though, was jujitsu always in the back of your head? Like, I gotta get back into that. Or,
honestly, no,
oh
no, it
wow.
wasn't.
Okay.
I don't want to say it was. I wasn't really thinking about it. I was just
Okay.
kind of
Well,
like
you had other stuff
hoping.
going on.
Yeah, I was hoping to get back into it, but it
Okay.
wasn't like obsessive, right? Like I wasn't
Okay.
waiting for the day to get back into it. But
Okay.
um, when my son turned 4, we took him. We moved here to Tustin. We took him
Okay.
to there's a city program for karate.
Okay.
Um, I think it was like $50 for like 6 classes.
Oh, I think I know it. Miss July.
Yes, Grandmaster
Yeah.
July.
We were in that
Okay,
for a
so
while.
I
Okay. I
took I
wonder,
took
we
my
might have overlapped. That's funny.
possibly, yeah, because I took my son there. My main reason for taking him there is I wanted to see how he did in a class environment.
Okay.
So I took him there, see if he paid attention, see if he followed the drills,
Yeah.
just to kind of see what he's doing. And then after
Okay.
that, I told my wife, hey, if he listens, if he pays attention, I'm gonna sign him up for jujitsu.
Okay.
But also the other thing was, hey, if he likes it, I'm gonna sign myself up again. So that was part of the
Okay.
the reason.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I took him there. He did good in karate.
Okay.
Listened, paid it like he did all the moves. He understood it.
Yeah.
Wasn't rowdy. After that, I took him to One Jiu Jitsu in Irvine. I sent Mo a message because at the time when he was at
That's where
Rounders
they was that where they were at the time? The One Jiu Jitsu?
in Irvine for when I started, yes, out on
Okay.
Sky Park.
Sky Park. Okay, I don't really know where that is, but I mean
Yeah,
that's not there anymore, right?
it's not
That's
there. No, no,
okay.
they moved to Tustin.
Okay.
So when I sent him a message, because I knew like I really had a good time at the Rounders
Yeah.
based on his coaching. So I saw that he went to his own thing, and it was just jujitsu,
Okay.
and that's kind of what I wanted, right? I wasn't really
Right.
looking for anything else like boxing or anything. Just jujitsu is
Right.
fine. They
Right.
had a kids program, so I asked him, "Hey, can I take my son? He's 4, he's almost 5, and see if he can do it." And he said, "Yes, bring him over. If he can pay attention and all that, we'll get him signed up, and he can do it here." And luckily, he did. He did. He
Okay.
got into it. He was having fun, and I think I waited maybe a few months to see that he liked it, and then I signed up myself. So I
Okay.
would say that for both of us, my son and myself, we started same year, which was 2000. I wrote it down too because I forgot. 2017.
You prepared. You did your
Yeah,
homework for this
yeah.
interview.
And honestly,
2017. Okay.
I don't track anything. Like I wish I
Okay.
did better tracking, but no, I had to research.
No, it's okay. Research your own history.
Yeah.
So 2017. All right, who was there? Mo was running it. Was Welly there? Was Jiva there?
Uh,
Was
Welly was there, but kind of I don't because I know he also worked at a Riverside location for a
okay.
bit. So I
Yeah.
think he was back and forth for a bit. But I do
Okay.
remember Mo, Jiva, who else? Tim, he's not there. Not Tim that was just there, but Timmy,
Oh,
another,
okay. I don't think I
yeah.
know this. I
He
don't think I
he
know
ran
that
the white
Tim.
belt class at the time when I was there, but he
Oh, so
moved
like the white belt. Was there a white belt class like the one we have, like the intro 7:45 p.m. thing?
Tuesdays. I want to say
Tuesday,
Tuesdays was considered more of a entry white belt level.
just one day a
Um,
week?
yeah, maybe Thursdays too, but I think Thursdays we had more combo people, so it wasn't fully like
Okay.
white belts. But Tuesdays,
Okay.
and it wasn't that late. I think it was at six something, like the afternoon time. So it
Okay.
wasn't a late white
Okay.
belt class.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. And like how many people, cuz like I mean, it's crazy how popular jujitsu has become, right? I mean, even
yeah.
in the last even I almost want to say in the last 5 years, I don't know. I mean, other people would know better than me, but even very recently, because even from the time I started a year and a half ago, an hour 7:45 p.m. night class. I don't know. It's just then compared to now, literally the intro night class is so busy right now.
Right,
Like compared to how it was in when I started in the November of 23, it is noticeable how much more
right.
dense it is in there because I swear 30 people just started in this January. But yeah, I mean, like, do you remember how many people there'd be per class in that intro class like back then? I mean, was it like 10 or was it closer to like 50? Like, do you
No,
remember?
I'd say maybe like 20 people was a big class, I think.
See, 20 was a big class.
Yeah.
That's crazy to think of that. 20 is not a
Well,
big class, right? At least at our gym, maybe
right. No, it's
maybe
not.
it's one jujitsu and
Well, even that, like for kids back then, I remember a big kids class was like 15 kids.
God, now that's crazy.
Yeah,
No question. Because
yeah.
right now, I mean, I don't do a head count, but I'm sure Mo knows these numbers better than me. But I mean, you teach the kids class that my kids are in. Like on a busy day, is there 100 kids on that mat?
I think
80? I mean,
80. I think 80. I think one time I counted like 76 or something like that.
right. I mean, a slow day is 50, literally,
Yeah,
right?
I
Like
would say that.
50 is a slow day. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
there's hardly anybody here, and there's 50 kids on that mat. I mean, it's crazy, right? Like, what do you think the reason is for this explosion of jujitsu in the most, and especially in these recent years? Do you have any thoughts as to why?
Particularly like with kids or in general.
Yeah, I mean, across the board, like other than like
Uh,
UFC, but UFC's been around for a good, people have noticed
yeah.
people have noticed jujitsu in the UFC, and wow, look at that, look at this amazing tool for like what, at least 15 years now. So why like right now is it just exploding?
I
Um,
don't honestly, I don't know. I have no idea. I just for kids, I would assume that it's mostly like a self-defense type thing, like
sure, yeah,
schools nowadays. I mean, you hear about bullying and all that,
yeah,
so I think that kind of increased on the kids side. But for adults, I'm not too sure. Maybe self-defense reasons. Maybe there's more gyms now, and it's a little bit more in your face, and people are more curious to try. So
right,
I don't know. Like back when I started, I just got into it like not really knowing and
right,
like as soon as I tried the class, I know I liked it, but
yeah.
I wasn't obsessed, I guess.
Okay,
Then
and so sorry, that was 2017. Do both your kids train?
yes,
And does your wife train?
yes.
I thought so. I thought so. Okay. So, because it's hard for me to match up who's who, right? But
Mhm.
then when I saw the picture of your family on Instagram, I'm like, oh, that's your wife. I've definitely seen her. Doesn't she train in the 6 o'clock class? or
She does
something?
now. Yeah, she started
Right.
off
Okay.
with the same thing, Tuesday, Thursday night class, the
Okay.
intro. But then like when she would get home, she's like, "Man, I have so much energy. I can't sleep. I got work the next day."
Okay.
So
Yeah.
when she could, she came over to the earlier 6
Okay.
p.m. class.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Wow. The whole family trains. That's
Yeah.
crazy. So 2017, you got, and I can assume it's been like, there hasn't been any major breaks since then to now, like
No.
when you started.
Yeah. As far as
Okay.
training wise, no.
And when was the big move from the Irvine location to the Tustin location? Like when did they move?
I think it was 2019, just
Just before
before COVID,
COVID.
just before the shutdown, which
Just before
was
the shutdown.
it
Okay.
was I mean it was exciting for me as far as the move because going to Irvine, it wasn't far, but traffic.
Yeah.
There was traffic, and the only way to get
Yeah.
there was basically streets.
Right.
But when they moved over to Tustin, like that puts me 5 minutes away, mostly
Right.
against traffic. So I was like,
Sure.
yeah, I'm happy. Like I'm gonna go there even more.
Yeah.
Um,
Right.
and then I think we did like a few classes, and then COVID happened where they had to shut down everything.
Okay.
So that was a sad time for all of us.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. For everybody training at well, for lots of people for lots of reasons, but
Right.
definitely if you're trying to learn jujitsu, it's hard to do without being able to go to classes for
Exactly.
sure. So that was a break for everybody, of course. But so you're a brown belt now.
Yes.
And I think when I started, you were still a purple belt because you're kind of a fresh brown belt, right?
Yes, I got it last year, August. Yeah,
Okay,
last
last
year, August.
August. All right, that's awesome, man. You are closer and closer to that black belt, which is, I mean, I got to be honest. For me, I'll be happy if and it's not like I don't think I will, but it's like I'll be happy if I ever even make it to blue belt. It's like that'll be the day. But like you touched on this earlier, like getting discouraged. But I guess when you were talking about it, you were talking about getting discouraged because of like taking breaks, having to take breaks, and other people getting ahead. But do you remember times like getting discouraged, just like like, oh my God, I'm not getting any better, or
Oh yeah,
I okay,
I think
you
that's very
remember that?
common.
Like,
Yeah, it's
okay,
common, especially like at white belt, and it's kind of like how I mentioned earlier, right? Like white belts nowadays, they come in with backgrounds of wrestling or some other type of martial art, or maybe they even tried jujitsu as a kid and then they're just coming back,
right,
just starting off as white belts. So me as a white belt, maybe I was like 3 stripes, 4 stripe white belt,
yeah,
thinking I'm gonna take this guy on or something, and then
yeah,
they smash me. Yeah, it's gonna be a little discouraging. I'm like, this brand new white belt just
yeah,
just got me, right? But I start really looking into like I can't worry about what they do. I gotta worry about what I do.
sure,
And then I think that's what's helped me not feel so discouraged. And no
okay,
matter what, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen in every belt,
sure,
especially when you just get that belt
okay,
as a blue. I feel like for me, from white to blue,
yeah,
I felt the most pressure because as soon as I
uh,
got blue, I had all these like 2 stripe, 3 stripe, 4 stripe white belts
yeah.
trying to beat me to kind of prove that like, hey, I can beat this blue belt, Because yeah, I'm a new blue
Yeah.
belt.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm laughing because as you say that, I can understand
Yeah,
where that mentality comes from, right? And you probably, I mean, there was probably a part of you when you were like a 3 or 4 stripe white belt and somebody just got promoted who was around your size and your level, and you were like, "Ooh, I get to beat a blue belt now,
yeah,
or try to beat a blue belt," right?
yeah. I think it happens all the time, both ways, right? Like I'm
Yeah,
trying to beat that new blue belt,
yeah,
and somebody's trying to beat me as a new blue belt. So it
yeah.
happens.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, that's honestly, I don't know why, but I was talking about this in a podcast with Dr. Rob that
Hmm.
hasn't been released yet. That's a big insecurity of mine is like, I know that if I walk in that gym and I tie that blue belt on, I mean, the first time I ever do that, my heart's going to be freaking pounding. Like, oh my God, people are going to notice that this fresh ass blue belt, this is big. It's a big moment. I'm terrified of that moment right now. And I'm a one stripe white belt and I'm
Yeah,
terrified of
and
that coming day.
I think it's normal. It is normal,
Okay.
but I think that if you start not really worrying about what the outcome
Yeah.
is when you roll with anyone,
Yeah.
as long as you're getting better for yourself or learning something, That's all that matters. I used to really take it personal too, but
Okay.
now I have no problem like if a blue belt taps me or purple belt taps me. Like it
Okay.
doesn't bother me anymore. Like I rather focus on like what did I do or what did they do
You
to
said a
get me in
blue
that
belt or
spot.
a purple belt. What about a white belt?
That's fine too. I mean,
Okay.
there are some white belts out there that are like I think I don't know him, but I think there's like a judo black belt, and he's a white belt in jujitsu. Like I'm
Okay.
sure he'll
Okay.
probably mess me up or some, you know, he's got
Right.
some skills.
Okay.
So that it doesn't matter. I think that's the reason I've learned to have fun with it now.
Okay.
Because if I worry too much about like, hey, I'm gonna go in there and beat everybody, and then I don't, then
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave feeling like
Yeah.
I suck, right?
Right.
But if I go in there, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna go in there, have fun, and try to get somebody in this new technique that I've been working on. Um, if I almost get it, cool. Next
Yeah.
time, I'm gonna see what I can do to fully get it, and then
Right.
that's how I kind of have fun with it.
And you said, because this was kind of what one thing I'm wondering about as somebody who's a brown belt, like you said, you felt the biggest leap when you went from white belt to blue belt in terms of like pressure, in terms
Pressure.
of, okay. And you didn't feel that quite as, so I'm sure you feel some every time you jump a belt because, yeah, I mean, it's probably hard not to, right? Like even when you went, do you remember going from blue to purple? Like, do you remember
Yes.
that?
Yeah,
And
it
you,
wasn't. I wasn't as like stressed or nervous about it the same as white to blue. From blue to
okay.
purple, I felt a little more comfortable because at blue, now you're starting to understand, especially when you're getting closer to purple, you're starting to understand certain movements and certain positions that even you as a blue belt, like, hey, I've caught maybe a couple purple belts or maybe I caught a brown belt.
Okay.
So if another blue belt gets me, I mean, doesn't mean I suck, right? Because then
Right. Right.
whoever I caught as a purple or brown, then that means they suck, right? But that's not the case.
It means they suck,
It's not
right?
the case. So
Yeah. Yeah.
after a while, I start letting go of that. I start letting go of
Okay.
like, okay, he caught me, but like
Okay.
how? What did he do? You
Yeah.
start learning your training partner's moves, right? Like, oh,
Yeah.
you always get me with this sweep. I'm gonna fight
Right.
this sweep, right? So
Right.
that's how you
Right.
start improving. So
Sure.
I don't have that pressure anymore or feel like I need to prove that I can beat everyone or anyone that I roll with that's a lower
Okay.
belt than me.
Would you say
So
that that's normal though is that the normal progression like what you're describing? Your progression was here's how I felt at white belt, here's how I felt at blue belt, here's how I felt at purple belt, etc. Is that kind of like the general is that do you feel like that's about how most people are as they go through the belts like you feel like this kind of pressure at white, this kind of pressure at blue, this kind of understanding at purple, is that because isn't that kind of like what our instructors are looking for as well, like it's not just what their skill set but also the mental game.
the mental, yeah, the understanding, the yeah. I don't know if it's the same progression for everybody because I think everybody has that a different mentality, right? Like everyone does
Yeah.
it for different reasons.
Yeah.
If you're doing it just to better yourself, learn something new, um, learn how to defend yourself. I mean, it might be that way for me because that's how I see it. But then you might have some people here, not here at our gym, but like in general, that um are there for like a professional, right? Like maybe they want to be a competitor, make a living out of this, or maybe they want to be a
Right.
full-time instructor. They might see it maybe more pressure because like, hey, if I want to be this, I need to know all of this, or
Right.
I need to like not be tapped by this person if I want
Hmm.
to be considered like top tier in my division or something like that. So
Right.
I think it's different for different people.
Sure. And you mentioned at blue belt, so what stood out to me that what you mentioned about blue belt is that all of a sudden all the white belts are gunning for you now, especially the higher stripe white
Mhm.
belts, because I feel like what I've heard more of about blue belt is that, or at least some people have said, once you hit blue belt, now the black belts and brown belts are also gunning for you because they take the kid gloves off.
Yeah,
Was that
it's
your experience? Did
yeah,
you notice that? Did you
yes,
actually? Wow. So you remember wearing a blue belt sudden, like you remember your early days as a blue belt and you were like, "Oh wow, this this guy that I've rolled with a bunch of times, he's going a little tougher on me now. Do you
Yeah.
remember that
Oh yeah.
specifically?
Even now
Wow.
as a brown belt,
Even now,
like
holy crap.
from purple to brown.
Yeah.
Like at purple, I felt like, oh, I got this guy in this, I got this guy in that, and then
Okay.
then I'm at brown belt rolling with them. Like, wait, you're not. That didn't work anymore. So then you realize like
uh,
it didn't really ever. He's
it
just
didn't. Oh my
they're
God.
letting you work, right? Or now
Yeah.
there's new moves from
Okay.
purple belt. You can do certain things now that you can't as a purple and below. So now
Okay.
they're going for those. I'm like, what? I didn't even know I could do this, and like
Oh,
knee
you
bars.
mean like there's, oh, you mean when you say can't, you mean like you're not allowed to.
Yeah.
Like, oh, so like, I don't know what those moves are. Obviously, I'm a white belt. What the hell do I
Yeah.
know? But I mean, that's
Like
about, but
knee
I mean, you said knee
bars.
bar. What is, I don't even know what that is. A knee bar.
It's almost like you're like an arm bar to your knee.
Okay.
So
All right.
you're
And
hyperextending the knee.
so who can't do those moves? Like below brown
Uh,
belt, it's
yeah,
illegal to do those?
brown belt and up can do them, and purple and down can't.
So did you even know how to do it before hitting brown belt?
I knew they were there, but I didn't know how to like go for it, or I didn't even think about going for it as a
Okay.
brown belt. Like just because in my mind I'm
Okay.
like I can't even do them. But there are some people out there that they know they're coming, so
Yeah.
they
So
already know about them.
now that you can, what like have you hit, or I mean, are you attempting knee bars now that you can
I
do them
try
as a
them,
brown
yeah,
belt?
yeah.
Okay. Okay. And is there actual lessons on the knee bar now, like as well? Like, because I go to a lot of these morning classes where it's mostly black belts. I don't remember any knee bar lessons, even though
No,
they
so
were,
sometimes they'll show a move. Like
Okay.
this past week, Wellington was showing a move of uh how to get like a person like in the honey hole position so you can attack a footlock.
Okay.
But then he showed a variation for brown belts and up of like going for the knee bar versus
Oh,
the other one. So they'll
okay.
mix in certain moves that will apply to the upper belts,
Okay.
but like a variation of a certain move that
Okay.
will apply for higher belts.
Okay. So, one other thing I'm interested about is as a higher belt, and you've gone through so many belts now. Um, I remember somebody tell it's been interesting to me to learn. I didn't know this, but I just assumed walking in the door, you know, sorry, as a white belt that it's like if you're a higher belt, brown belt, black belt, that you not only know how to do all the moves, but that you are proficient at all the moves, you know. But then I learned early on when I was like drilling with a brown belt, and the drill was like, I don't know, triangles. He was like, I suck at triangles, and I was so confused. Like, what do you mean you suck at? You're a brown belt, you can't. And he was like, no, that's not something I'm good. I don't really do them, and I'm still confused. Like, how is it possible that you can be a brown belt or a black belt and not be like really good at every single thing? But I'm slowly learning that you kind of develop little specialties and
Right.
whatnot. So I'm sure you have your things that you are better at now and not as good at. But like do you remember when you were a white belt and you started learning about that? Was there things that you kind of here, how do I put this? Like right now, I'm like, I don't understand if I'm ever a brown belt, when I'm a brown belt, what's going to be my specialty? I feel like right now I have no idea what I'm even slightly better at than anything else. So, do you remember how that progressed for you? Like, were you a blue belt and you're like, "Ooh, I'm starting to get good at this thing, so I guess this will be my specialty." And I don't know. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, honestly, I'm still going through that. And I've asked some of the people like, "Hey, when did you find out what your go-to is?" Because
Yeah.
I try so many different things. Sometimes they work, and sometimes they might work for 2, 3 weeks, like
Okay.
during our training.
Yeah.
And I think like, oh, this is gonna be my thing. And then 2, 3 weeks later, it doesn't work anymore. I'm like, oh, okay, what now?
Really?
But yeah, so it's very hard. Like I feel like I've only done one private class
Yeah.
in like my whole journey here, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I feel like maybe if I had something like that, and then someone can tell me like, hey, this is something that you go to, let's work on that and expand on that. Maybe I can
Yeah.
focus on that. But right
Sure.
now, honestly, I'm just kind of all over the place. I'm trying to hone down on a specific area, but
Okay.
I feel like the people I roll with, I have to do so many things to just survive sometimes that like I can't focus on a specific thing. But
I
I
see.
mean,
I
it's all
see.
right.
Okay.
It makes me
Honestly,
work on everything.
sure. It's refreshing to hear this because
Yeah.
honestly, when I ask you, you've listened to some of the
Yeah.
episodes. Like when I ask some of my buddies in my white belt cohort, "What's your go-to?" Almost all of them already have an answer. They're like, "Oh,
Exactly. And that's
Mike's like
one
arm
thing.
triangle,"
Yeah.
or "Oh yeah, arm triangle. That's my thing," or triangle. It's like, how do you have a thing? I don't have a
Yeah.
thing,
Like
but
I get arm triangles, I get arm bars, I get collar chokes, I get kimuras,
okay,
but they're all in phases, right? Like they don't
okay,
it's not my like every time I go for it I get it. It's not one of
okay,
those. It's like all right, it's my kimuras are working for me for the past 2 months, 3 months.
yeah,
And then people catch on. I'm like, all right, now I
okay,
gotta throw something else. So
okay,
I don't have a thing that like that's my main thing that I go to.
right. Wow. Okay. That is really I wasn't expecting that,
Yeah,
but again, it's refreshing to hear that I can maybe get as far ahead as you and not have a specialty. It's okay because I feel all this pressure like I need a thing, but
right.
it's okay. But did you kind of have one at like I don't know, blue belt? Was there a time when you were like, okay, I guess this is becoming my thing? Like at any
Uh,
point was there like, oh, this is like what I'm good at right
key
now?
lock, key lock
Key
was
lock
yeah,
from
blue
mount,
belt
from side
from
control.
mount from even from the bottom. I would get the key locks from the bottom. That would
Oh, that's the same thing as Kimura, right?
Kimuras like when you go from the
That
back
way.
this way.
Oh, key
Key
lock's the
lock
other
is
way.
the other way.
You can do that from the bottom.
I
Dang
mean,
it, dang it.
I would get it. I mean,
Okay,
I don't know if it was like maybe the other person needed to do something else to get out of it, or but I would get it.
okay, okay. Right, because even there was a time when really ridiculously early on, like the first few months where I got like the key lock, I was able to make somebody tap. I made like, I don't know, in the course of like 3 or 4 months, I got like 3 or 4 taps from the key lock.
Hmm.
But I think it's been probably a year. So
Okay.
that was like, I was like,
So,
oh, this is becoming my thing. But no, it's not my
and
thing at all.
that's why I said I don't really have a thing because it'll
Okay.
work up to a certain point, right? But
Yeah.
people are gonna catch on to your like, oh, this is the key lock guy. I gotta watch his key lock. So now
Okay.
it forces you like, all right, I'm gonna do something
Okay.
else. Right now, what I'm hitting right now are the kimuras.
You're hitting a lot of them
Yeah, kimuras.
from which position?
Either half guard or full guard.
Half guard or full guard? You know what? That's so cool to hear you mention that because I only learned a couple months ago that you can even do Kimura from half guard because I always find myself in half guard. And
So did
then,
I.
okay, okay, good to hear.
And the reason
Um,
I learned is because I tried it. I'm like, hey, it's working. All right.
okay,
I don't have to go for the full guard. Like I would try it just with the half guard and hey, it's
eh,
working. So I keep
okay,
trying it and
okay,
now I'll go from there.
okay. Yeah, Cody did it to me. White belt Cody, Triangle Master Cody. Shout out Cody. He he did it to me, and I was like, "Did you just Kimura me from half guard?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I was like, when did you? That's a thing. I didn't know about this.
Yeah.
And then I've been trying it like crazy since then, and I haven't gotten any taps, but I've been able to like uh, you can kind of like do a sweep with it, right?
Mhm.
Like hold it real
Yes.
tight and don't let go, and then you kind of end up. I don't think it counts. Like if it's a competition, I don't think that counts for any points because you go from bottom half guard to top half guard. Does that count for points? I don't even know.
I believe because if you're in half guard, your legs trapped inside, like your legs are trapped, right?
Yeah,
So I think if you sweep and you clear the leg,
then it
you
counts,
get
right?
points.
But
Yeah,
if I
I
just
believe.
sweep and then and now I'm top half guard versus bottom, I don't think there's any points
No,
there, right?
I don't
That's what
believe.
I
Yeah.
thought. Yeah. So, but yeah, I've just been trying to play with that and then just see how long I can hold on to that Kimura and try
Mhm.
to hopefully make somebody tap like that. But haven't gotten haven't gotten that far with it. But at least it's been something new to it's been fun kind of trying to play around with that.
Right. And
Yeah.
that's why, like I said, I don't feel like I had a specialty because I like
Okay.
playing with different moves, right? Like
Okay.
certain
Yeah.
things that work and then they stop working and let's go on to something else.
Right. And man, dude, I cannot believe we've already been going 53 minutes. How are you doing on time right now?
I'm good. I'm
Okay,
good.
because we haven't even gotten to your competitions, and
Yeah.
Unlike many of my other guests, where it's like, okay, let's hear about every detail of every single match you've ever done.
Yeah.
Maybe, in light of the time, how many competitions have you even done?
I think it's been like, I have it here somewhere.
Oh, you took
Like
notes.
nine or 10.
See, again, the only reason you have to take notes is because most of my guests have done like one or something. We're all white belts. This is all new. So
Yeah.
for you, 9 or 10, my God.
Yeah.
So you've got to have some pretty memorable matches out of those 9 or 10, right? Did you take notes on
Yeah.
that?
But there's the one most memorable to me is a purple belt.
Okay, so this is pretty recent then,
Yeah.
like
So
last year or two.
not like maybe 2 years ago.
Okay,
The only reason why it was a World League one, and it
okay,
was just me and another guy.
okay,
Most of the time, I have 2 to 3 guys in my divisions, and
okay,
then people drop out. So sometimes then I
okay,
have no one. This one I only had one guy,
okay.
so I had to go against him twice. If I win twice, I or lose twice, that's it, right? Minimum of
Wait,
twice.
so sorry, you're talking to a guy who doesn't compete here. There was only two of you in the whole bracket.
Yes.
I would, in my mind, why wouldn't I thought you just compete one time,
So
but
IBJJF, it's like a single elimination. So yes, you compete once. If you win, you keep going. If you lose, you're done. Jiu-Jitsu
okay,
World League, I guess just to make it worth it for you, they guarantee 2 matches.
okay. So even if there's just two of you, you're going to go twice,
Twice, yeah.
period.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
like let's say it's 1-1, you're gonna go a
Yeah.
third time to see
Okay.
who wins the second match.
Okay.
But that was the case with this one.
Yeah.
I like this match because it was a very competitive. I was the only one from our gym competing at that time. So it was
Okay.
at a 2 p.m.
Okay.
And it was yeah, I was the only one. So for
All
that
right.
time slot, I had on my corner, I had Chiva, Kyle, Mo, Sean,
Oh my God.
T, Erica,
Wait, T. Who's T?
T. He's a black
That-
belt. He was coming for a while in the afternoons.
Hmm. Okay.
Then
T.
noon.
T. That's his name. His name is T, or
T.
nickname T.
T. No,
T.
that's his
All
name.
right.
T.
The only one you didn't mention is Welly.
Wellington was there
Oh my
too.
God. You had
Everybody was there.
like every black belt from our gym in your
Yes.
corner.
Everybody was
Dude,
there. 'Cause
talk
there was no
about
one else to
pressure.
coach. Yes, there was no one else to coach.
Oh
So,
my God. I would feel too much pressure
oh yeah,
personally.
the first match with that guy, it was 0-0. No one, no points, nothing.
Now,
So at that point,
were there takedowns, or was it all
um,
stand up, or
it was a guard pull, and then we just kind of like back and forth, but no one ever got dominant enough to get points. Um,
wow? Now, what was it like having like? Don't tell me all 10 of those black belts were screaming at you the
no,
whole
not
time.
at the time. Maybe they
Okay.
were, but like once I'm there, I can focus on the one that's on the chair. The one that's on the
Oh, all
chair
right, all
that's
right.
yelling at you, that's the one I gotta listen to.
And is that the thing? Do they like the person who's like sitting in the chair is technically supposed to be the only one?
Yeah, because
Like,
they
okay,
don't want you having too many people there
right,
coaching, right?
okay,
But like it's your team, it's all that. Like everybody wants to throw their tips at you. They all want to
of
help you.
course, yeah, yeah,
So everyone's there like shouting certain things.
okay,
But yeah, so that one was 0-0.
yeah.
Ref decision. So the ref gave it to the other guy.
And
So
any idea why? Like
I
why?
don't know.
So that's called advantage, right? So
Yeah, like
somehow,
an
some
advantage.
way,
Yeah.
like maybe that guy pulled guard. He's the one that pulled guard, or I don't
I
know. Like,
I don't recall that part. I got to rewatch the match,
all right,
but I
okay,
know that they gave it to him. So then we had to go again anyways.
yeah,
So we did,
yeah,
and this time it was 3-2. I got or 4-2, 4-2. So I
okay,
was able to win that second match, four to
yeah,
two.
yeah.
And then the third match we had to go back, but from the second to the
Wait,
third match,
third match. I thought you
yeah,
only did two matches in this
one and
tournament.
one. He won the first one, I won the second,
Oh my God, it's
so we had to
tied.
go for a third. So
The
that's why it's
same guy,
yes,
like three times.
yes,
But how did you win the second one? So the second match you won by points, but I mean,
points.
was it what did you do to win those points? Do you
They're
remember?
like sweeps. I think he
Okay.
ended up like I think I got a sweep once. He ended up we're just scrambling. He ended up getting a takedown on me, so that
Okay.
was 2-2.
Okay.
And then I think on the takedown I was on the bottom, was able to get up for another sweep, so
Okay.
4-2, I believe.
Okay.
And then the last match I had everybody there still because no one
Okay.
else was there for. They didn't have anyone else to coach, so I had
Oh my
everyone
God,
there,
man.
and
Yeah.
we're all tired, but we had just gone. No one else is going, so the ref or the people at the table were like, "Hey, you guys want to go?" I was
Just
tired.
like right away.
Yeah, I was a little tired. I'm like, I think I forgot if it was Mo or Wellington said like, "Hey, he just went. Give him some time."
Yeah.
And then the other guy was also like, you can see him on the other side. His coach was like stretching his arms, like going like that,
Yeah. Yeah.
trying to massage it and just
Because
trying to
of like
get air.
the grips and whatnot.
Yeah,
Like,
the adrenaline, everything.
okay. Okay. Yeah.
So he's out there, and then Wellington, I think it was Wellington that told me, look, he's tired. Just say you're ready. Tell him,
Yeah.
let's go. You're gonna
Yeah.
do this. So
Yeah.
I told the people like, hey, I'm good. Let's go. So then the other guy had to say like, hey, I still need time.
Okay.
So he took a little bit more time, but
Okay.
then that's when Wellington and everyone, look, he's tired. You got this. You got to push through it. Five
Yeah.
minutes, and that's it.
Yeah.
So we went, and it was again like a back and forth. Him,
Sweeps and
yeah, I think
okay.
I did a takedown, pull guard.
Okay.
So I was on the bottom for a bit.
Okay.
Um, Swept them. I think I swept them, but it didn't fully count because I didn't like sweep him and
And
had
then
the
end
had the
up
t-
like
yeah,
dominant position. Okay.
right. And then he ended up getting 2 points somehow
Okay.
for the rest of the match. He's just like staying on top of me, just grinding. Right, I'm having
Yeah.
to struggle and push, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
he almost has my back
Okay.
towards like the last 40 seconds. He
Okay.
almost took my back, but I
Okay.
was able to kind of I try this a lot, which I gotta cut it out a little bit, but
Uh-oh.
where
What
like
is this?
I kind of give up the back and then I
Okay.
try to do like a back flip over. So like as they're
Jeez.
taking the back
What?
flip, I grip the collar and I try to like flip around to end up on top. So
I'm trying to picture what you're talking about. So hold on. So like if I'm on your back, you're going to
yeah,
reach
I make
over your own
yes.
head and then but you're yeah, how do you do it again? So
So I gotta make sure that your hooks aren't in, right? So I gotta like try to clear your
oh.
hooks. As
Okay.
I clear
Okay.
your hooks, I
Yeah.
grip the back of the lapel and then I just kind
Yeah.
of backflip, just
And
kind
then
of roll,
don't
and
tell
I
me
end
you
up
end up on my back then.
not your back. I end up like you end up like let's say falling back
Yeah.
on your back, and then I
Yeah.
end up on top, like side control type thing, north south side control.
Oh, okay. Man, I need you and I need to see I need to see this live on the mat.
Yeah.
I don't think I understand. It sounds a little scary.
So I ended up doing that. The
Okay.
last, I want to say the last 10 seconds.
Okay.
So I ended up doing that. So I passed, got 3 points,
Yeah.
and Wellington and everybody can just hear him yelling to hold, 10 seconds left. But
Yeah.
they felt like a minute. That 10 seconds felt like forever.
Oh my
I was just like, I
God.
gotta hold this because if this guy bumps me off, like that's another
Yeah.
sleep for him. Like,
So
so
if you're like if I hold this, I got the win pretty
I
much,
get the
right?
win. Yeah, 3-2.
And
So
you're holding which
like
position
side
again?
control, just side control.
Just
I'm
hold
holding.
side control.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, good thing we drilled that a lot, right?
Yes.
So you
So I was
kind
just
of knew the
he was
technique.
tired, I
Okay.
was tired, and
Okay.
um ended up winning. So
Yeah.
3-2. But
Ah,
I think the
congratulations,
more
man.
memorable, thank you. The more memorable part is just having all those professors there.
Right.
Just everyone that was there, like supporting,
Yeah.
coaching you, shouting, like just. And then when you get the hand raised, everybody yelling, like congratulating, like yeah,
So
that
how
was
is
one of the best
it?
ones.
So when you win and you said the hand raise, how do you oh, is it just like on UFC, like the ref comes up and holds both
Yeah,
arms and
yeah,
raises the one?
yeah.
Okay. Okay. Oh, so at that moment, did you know your hand was gonna go up because you knew you had the points, or was it still like, oh, I
No,
hope
no,
I won?
I saw it because the way I landed, I was
Yeah.
able to see the screen. So the screen tells you the points, right? Like they gave me the three
Oh,
points
they're
and I
keeping
could see.
track. Like you can see the.
Yeah,
I did not know that. You can
yeah.
so
So I could
everybody in the
see.
gym can tell who's winning and what the
Right.
point values are and everything. Ah, okay, okay. Wow,
Yeah,
wow.
so
That
I
was
could
so.
see.
So with all the coaches there and they're all yelling and screaming in that last 10 seconds. Oh my God, were you just
Yeah.
absolutely exhausted after that?
Tired, feeling the pressure,
Yeah.
just everything. And then I think when I won, I just rolled over and I was laying on my back for a while, like until I could get up because I was just so exhausted.
Yeah.
But just having that support, the cheer, the joy, like it was just it was a good feeling.
Yeah. Was your family there?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Wow.
They're
That's
always there for
exciting.
my competitions.
Oh, I wonder if that is that the picture on Instagram that's like kind of there's one you're like I think it's a you're wearing a purple belt and then it's you and your family standing there. I think I've seen that.
Possibly that one.
Oh, well, you've
Yeah.
done so many, hard to keep
Yeah.
track, right?
Yeah.
Wow, well, that's exciting, man. So, but you've done 9 or 10 competitions
Yes.
total. Like, are you going to keep competing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, yeah, this seems like something that you do.
Yeah.
Eh,
I've learned to like not I don't get nervous anymore, I guess.
not
So
at all.
now, no, not anymore.
Wow, I can't imagine not
I,
being there. What if
but
all the instructors show up again?
maybe yes, at that point, yes. But to go into a match with people, not anymore. Just
Okay.
because in the end, we're all the same, right? Trying
Yeah.
to test ourselves and trying to
Yeah.
see where we're at, and
Yeah.
especially like in my division now, like I don't have people that are trying to kill you. It's
Yeah. In
it's
the
working people, right? Like it's
yeah.
older
Right. People with
guys that like,
families
hey,
like you
yeah,
and yeah,
even in the
jobs and
bullpen, most of the time we talk and we're like, hey, guys, let's have some fun out there. We
right.
got work on Monday,
Yep.
and shake hands and just
Yeah.
give it our best. So,
Right.
but nerves, I don't have that anymore. Like I can go in there and just try my best, and that's it.
Right, right. And wow, that's and so your division is what, 41 to 45, is it roughly?
No, most of the time it's 141 and under.
So that's like 36 to 41, 37, something like that.
Um, I think 30 to
30.
141. Yeah.
Oh,
130
it's
to
a 10
141.
year. Oh,
10,
you're
10,
oh, I meant like age.
oh, age-wise, it's a
Yeah.
Masters 3.
So
It's called Masters 3.
what's Masters 3?
40, what is it? 41 to 45 or something like
Okay.
that? 40
So
to 44 or something like that.
now when you compete, do you just go compete at whatever weight you're walking around at, or are you like I better cut or gain like
The only one I've cut for is Master Worlds,
okay?
Vegas last year.
And how much did you cut for that?
I did 127s,
That's called Rooster?
Rooster. So there's a Rooster
120. So
like
you got down to 127?
127.
Oh my God. So did you, so you had to lose like 15, 20 pounds?
No, no, because at that time I think I was walking around at like 134-ish,
Okay.
134. Yeah, so I wasn't.
It wasn't that
No, and
bad.
I was sick. I had gotten sick like
So that worked to your advantage.
yeah, I had gotten sick before, and then I was having trouble gaining weight back, so I was
Okay.
like at 130 something. So I'm like, oh, I'll do
Okay.
127s.
Okay.
It's not that much.
Okay. Yeah. And
But
how, every other one you
yeah,
just competed at whatever you were
yeah,
at?
whatever I'm at, yeah.
Okay. So what, was there a specific thing that motivated you? Did you want a bigger challenge to go down to that Rooster thing?
I think
The
just because
Rooster weight?
it's a bigger tournament,
Ah,
I just wanted like better chances, like better odds, right? Like I didn't want to be
okay.
like the lightest one at the
Okay.
next division.
Yeah.
I'd rather be like the heavier one at this other one. At
Okay.
least at that
And
that
how did
time.
it go? Did it work out?
Yeah, I got first on that one.
Okay. How many people were in the bracket?
No, that one was just at first there was uh 3 of us,
Yep.
me and 3 of us,
Yep.
and then in the end it was just me and one guy.
Okay.
So it's harder like at our age, that weight, like to
Yeah.
find competitors to go out there for that.
I mean, it seems like almost any weight because even when I talk to, some of my white belt buddies who compete, it's like even dudes who are in like the 180 at our,
Mhm.
in Masters 3 or whatever, even it'll be like, oh, there's one other person,
Right.
in my bracket or no other people in my bracket or something like that. So I feel like that's kind of, across the board for
Yeah.
for that age, I guess.
Yeah, that's why now like I'll go up in weight or I'll go to the next one just to get something, just to do something. The first
Oh,
the first brown belt tournament I did was at 154.
okay. That's 154.
Yeah.
Hold on. 127 is your lowest. 154 is your highest. That's almost a 30-pound weight swing there.
Yeah.
That's a lot, especially
Yeah.
like, and if you go on the percent, like that's like, you know, a 30-pound weight swing from like 200 to 230 is a different thing from 127 to 154. So,
Right.
wow. So what is your favorite weight class to compete at?
Probably the 141s, just because I don't
Okay.
have to worry about anything, like no cutting,
That's just
just
where you're at, right?
where I'm at. I'm normally right in the middle.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. So I'm probably not going to compete, but if I did, because I'm like 155, 156, 154,
Okay.
you know, so that it would be in my best interest to compete in the one right below that, right? Because that way I'd be
Right.
one of the heavier
Yeah, 'cause
ones. That's kind of the
especially if you know,
mentality,
like
right?
if the cap is 154 and you're
Yeah,
155, 156, just
yeah.
cut the
But
2 pounds and
I would need to cut. Yeah, I would still need to cut like 2 or 3 because it's with a gi on, right?
right, right.
Okay, and the gi weighs like 2 pounds,
Two to
I
three
guess.
pounds depending on the gi.
Okay,
But
okay,
they
okay.
sell like for that one I had to get like I bought a King's like really light gi.
Yeah.
I wore like a really light belt,
Okay.
like just to make sure I didn't
Yeah.
go over.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't, you know, that's some strategy there. That's something I never would have thought of is like that there's a, like, they don't even regulate that kind of thing at these competitions? Like you have to wear a certain brand gi or anything like that? Or does
I
it
don't think
depend
so.
on,
They just have to be like for the IBJJF one, there's IBJJF approved keys.
oh, I see.
Um,
So there is some slight
yeah.
regulation in there.
But a
Okay.
lot of the ones when you see it, I'm like, oh, this is an ultralight key,
Okay.
IBJJ approved.
Oh,
So then, all right, cool.
oh, so
That's
then you
some,
know it's going to be approved
yeah.
because they approve it. I see. I see. Wow. Okay. All right. So when's your next competition?
Right now, I'm signed up for May 28th at the
Oh,
Long Beach one.
that's in a month.
Yeah. And
Oh, at
then,
Cal State.
yeah. And then I signed up for Master Worlds. So we'll see
Okay.
how that goes.
Okay. Well, I wish you luck. And
Thank you.
shall we move on to the lightning round?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Let's
So
see.
let's see.
Uh,
Okay, Martin, what is more dangerous, a tight heel hook or a spazzy white belt?
Man, probably the
Who's
spazzy white belt.
okay?
Probably that. Because you don't know where it's
Okay.
gonna come from. The heel hook, at least you know where it's at, and you can kind of defend. But the spazzy white belt might come from a knee to the face to who knows.
That's a good point. More unpredictable, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Mount or side control?
What would I prefer?
Yeah.
Mount.
Really? All
Yeah.
right. I prefer side control. Was there a time when you preferred side control? I'm
Um,
wondering if that's a beginner thing because I can't do mount. I get bucked off mount no matter what.
well, I feel like I get bucked up easier from side control than mount.
What? Okay.
Yeah.
Jeez. All right. All right. Okay. All right. One's got to go, as in you can't do this move ever again. Armbar, triangle, or rear naked choke.
Triangle.
Triangle. Why is that?
I don't really try them to begin with. Like, I'm not a big guy, so like I don't have long legs. So
Oh, you're not really into the triangle anyway. So that's like for
yeah.
you. That's like, I don't really do it.
Yeah.
Whatever. It can go.
Right.
Okay. And if you could go back and tell the white belt Martin one really valuable piece of advice, what would it be?
Honestly, it's focus on the fundamentals
Okay.
because I think as white belts, we some people are like eager to start with the rolls, right? Like start rolling, start getting
Mm-hmm.
in there
Mm-hmm.
and all of that, that you don't realize how important the fundamentals are at that point until
Mm-hmm.
later on.
Sure.
So I think when I started, I wanted to roll, right? Like I'll
Yeah.
just do the drills a little bit here and there and just enough to roll. But if I would have started with fundamentals, like taking them serious,
Mm-hmm.
I think I would have advanced faster. And I'll give you an example. Like my wife, when she started,
Mm-hmm.
she did a bunch of fundamentals. She only really wanted to focus on fundamentals.
Mm-hmm.
And even here at home or at the gym when I would partner with her, fundamentals.
Okay.
So I feel like she has learned more in her short period of time as a white belt
Mm-hmm.
than me in that same period.
Okay.
Just
Even, but you can't say because your white belt years started in what, 03? So
yeah.
not including that part, right? With all the breaks.
No,
Okay.
even here, like at one, right? Like Um, I don't, I think when we started there at one, when I started at least, we didn't have that much, um, like, formatted type curriculum for white belts, right? Like
Oh,
right
really?
now, yeah, I don't think we did. Like it didn't,
Okay.
I don't recall that. Like we would learn certain moves,
Yeah.
but you know how like now we might like spend a week, 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks on certain moves and just add
Yeah.
to them.
Yeah.
Back then, I don't recall that as a white belt.
Okay.
And here we're adding to it. And it just feels like, hey, by the third week, you should have a decent sequence of what to do.
Right.
Like, do you recall the classes that we do
The
where
intro
like you're,
class this,
yeah,
intro class that. Uh-oh.
yes.
I was worried you were going to ask me that.
I
Sort of. I
I
mean,
didn't know them. Like I learned them the same
okay.
time as my wife.
Okay.
So, and that's me at purple, I think.
Okay.
So when she started that, when we
Yeah.
would roll, I'm like, hey, let's start with intro class one, and then
Yeah.
just go from there. You're in guard. What do you do? And then she's like, I pass. Okay, pass from there,
Right.
and we just
Right.
kind of work through it. So that's how she started getting that little routine,
So focus on the fundamentals, which is,
fundamentals.
and I've said this in other podcasts before, but it's like I keep waiting for the day to where I'm going to say to myself, "Oh, well, thank God I didn't try to learn fancy moves like a, flying armbar and an Ezekiel and a Darce and whatever all these weird moves are that I keep getting beat with." It's
Yeah,
like I'm looking forward to the day when I can look back and say, "Oh, well, none of that mattered because I focused on fundamentals."
yeah,
Because, I mean, it's nothing but well, not nothing, but I mean, it's a little discouraging when I get beat by a white belt of my same rank, and he's like, and I'm like, what was that? And he's like, it was an Ezekiel, and it's like, where the hell did you learn what the? Nobody taught me what an Ezekiel was
yeah.
or how to defend against it. But you're getting wins. I want to get
Hmm.
some wins here, and
Hmm.
then somebody else is like, oh, that's a Darce, and I'm like, what the hell's a Darce?
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for my Darce lesson. Not that I'm, if Welly's listening, don't worry about it. It's more like I just don't. I'm still trying to wrap my head around why I'm supposed to like be happy focusing on fundamentals while everybody else around me is getting wins with these weird, you know, Darce Ezekiel flying helicopter armbar and whatever the hell else that they sure as hell didn't learn in our on our mat. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's not like I doubt the process. I really
Right.
don't, and I'm having a great time. But it's like I want to. I'm sure it'll come, Martin. But it's like
Yeah.
I'm not there yet to where it's like, oh yeah, obviously fundamentals are the way to
Yeah.
go because it's so much fun getting Ezekieled and Darced by people of my rank. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
And that's why I would say that to my my white belt self because
Okay.
like I didn't realize it till now, right? Like
Okay.
how much that's needed.
Okay. Yeah. So I should say, who cares if every white belt in the gym can Ezekiel me or Darce me? Right? Who cares? Because
Eventually, as you roll with them more often,
yeah.
those moves you see them coming, or
Okay.
they become harder to get on you because like you're expecting them now, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a mistake that you're doing. Like I'm
Right.
putting my head there for that choke,
Right.
and then you might do that 3, 4 times. That's why it's always there. But like now, your head's up here.
Right.
How they there's no more Ezekiel or no more, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Do you know how to do those, by the way? The Ezekiel and the Darce?
the Darce, yes. The Ezekiel, I gotta recall how it goes, but yeah.
Okay.
I've never been a person that like watches or researches and
Ah,
moves
yeah.
and
We didn't
like
even get there. My bad.
yeah.
Okay. So you don't spend a lot of time on YouTube and BJJ Fanatics and Grappler's Guide
Mhm.
and okay, I'm gonna watch this guy do that and learn it
Yeah.
and then go
No.
try it in the gym.
I just like to go train. That's
Well,
it.
you had enough of those days when you and your buddies would do that
Yeah.
back in the
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Maybe that's why I don't go into
Right, that is probably why, because you
yeah.
you already tried and you didn't have success. So,
Yeah.
okay, cool. Well, Martin, it's been a great time, man. Thanks for giving me your time.
Yeah, no problem.
Here,
Thanks for having me.
yeah, of course. And I look forward to rolling with you again on the mat
Yeah.
and getting armbarred by you
Yeah,
and
no
choked in
worries.
different ways. And